AI isn't just about chatbots and flashy demos. At PTC, it's about solving real business problems, like reducing costs and complexity in inventory management.
For example, can we look at the geometry of data that's actually in Windchill, do like a part search, but join that with other metadata to say, hey, there's a whole bunch of duplicate parts that we could actually consolidate down into simplification and reduce the cost of goods from an inventory management perspective, because the holding cost per part number can be pretty sizable, for some of our customers to maintain. That's not a generative AI use case. Sometimes when people are saying AI, everybody wants to run to the ChatGPT version of it. We're going to be doing a bunch of that more, and I'll show you that later this afternoon. So this kind of gives you a sense, out of these 10 areas, we're essentially saying our AI strategy should align into any one of those boxes, because that's where you would have you wouldn't really have any difficulty approaching your executives with a business case, because it directly drives and ties to kind of the business plan, if you will. Some of the other stuff could be emotionally. It feels good to use, but it's very hard to quantify. And for those of you that are familiar with the MIT study that made ripples several weeks ago, they effectively said, hey, 95% of the Gen AI projects are more or less failing. And part of it was they're not really tied to things that actually make a difference from a business value perspective. So we know that some things are actually big drivers. So faster MPI cycle time. Can you beat your competitor in the room to market faster? Some of our customers will say in the first 18 months, that's where they make all the profit, is being kind of the first, because the fast follower might be easy. 10% savings in total cost of quality. Can we drive that? I don't want any of you to be in the news, by the way, from a quality issue perspective, right? I don't think anybody here does. And then ultimately driving in service. And so just to use those, Braun would say that, hey, we have 1.5 million different types of products installed globally. I don't know what their aspiration would be in terms of like what they see in the future from a product portfolio perspective. But with the ability to manage all the traceability of what's out there, how can they effectively service and sustain that efficiently? And we're happy to provide them with the capabilities to do that. We did talk about Fresenius already, so it's kind of reused in this slide. And then in other cases, like in service, like getting the right part and expertise into the right hands. Like it's a very simple thing to think about, but how do we use the capabilities that we have to essentially drive that service level improvement? It's real hard savings at the end of the day for our customers.
PTC's AI strategy is focused on measurable results, helping customers save money, improve quality, and deliver better service worldwide.